My man. If Warren Sapp was here, he'd call you Bert Kreischer.
Dude.
You guys might know him as Bert, though. You answered the bell, dude. Callan ditched me, and I'm like, you know what? Whenever I think of, I'm like, God, I need a co-host, and you're one of my favorite people on the planet. I owe a lot of my career to you. And Thomas, too. Tom Segura, who I fucking love as well. But I never hit you guys up because I know how busy you guys are with your podcast. Yeah. And I know if someone asks me to do a show, I'm like, fuck, I forgot my schedule. So if I hit you up, I need you, dude.
I got the text. I was with my family on vacation in hotspot Arizona. Dude, we could just start there.
Let's start there.
My daughters are like, guys saw me on the road and they were so jealous. And we did, like, our tour was so zero contact, the Hot Summer Nights tour. Coming back August 8th, we start another tour out to Macon, Georgia. Yeah. Oh yeah, doing another tour.
And are you tour bus?
Tour bus. Just drive-ins, no clubs. They're a little easier.
Oh, you're doing drive-ins?
We do drive-in movie theaters, and they're fucking awesome. Like, awesome.
It sounds so cool.
It's so. Let me just pitch it to you this way, okay? I told it to Segura, and he goes, had I known drive-ins were an option when you started comedy, I would have said, oh, that's what you should do instead of clubs.
Yeah.
Like it's. Show starts at 9. Doors open at 7, right? So cars start pulling in at 7. They start tailgating, putting up couches in front. They got here. Do you have the video? Go to my Instagram. You can see the video. Mm-hmm. It is so beautiful. Scroll down. Okay, do the second one. The
this one?
Yeah. This is bathroom class, smacking asses.
You did Fort Collins?
Front 13. Look at this. The people in the back of the trucks, they got their lawn chairs, they're smoking meats.
Bro.
Right? Everyone's pre-partying. This is 7 o'clock. Guy filled his boat up with water. We give out. But all they want to know is where to pot. So everyone sees a beautiful sunset before the show starts. How great is that, right?
What?
And then we build a stage. We travel the stage. So we got a stage everywhere. And then we do a 3-camera shoot that goes up on a 90-foot by 90-foot screen. It is absolutely amazing. And then this is the best part. Wait till you see how you get a standing ovation. Tell me you don't want this. It's like getting abducted by aliens. Look at that. Everyone's right?
And the audio and everything's good?
The audio's flawless. Like right into the cars. Everyone's in their safe spot so you can like pre-party outside your car if you want. Put up. We did one in Indianapolis. A guy set up a fireworks show to go off at the end. Thank you, good night.
Dude, I want to end.
Dude, it's so much fun that I did the first one in North Carolina. I called my agent. I called my agent when they were pre-partying, because that for me was like, that's like
tailgate.
Oh, tailgating before a comedy show? Like, Burr hates it. He goes, anyone throwing a football before a comedy show is not there for comedy. I'm the opposite. I'm like, that's my fan.
That's a party.
I want someone to fill the back of their truck with water.
Those are my people. Those are my people.
Someone's smoking a fucking Boston butt in the back going, oh, dude,
Was it weird? Was the dynamic a little different? Because you can't.
No. It's like, I would imagine, I haven't done arenas. It's the same energy as an arena. Like when I saw Sebastian was at the Forum. I think he did like fucking 6 shows or something. And he was kind enough to give me, my wife, and like 3 of our family friends tickets. And we were far away from the stage. Not bad tickets, but I remember going like, this doesn't seem intimate. Like, how's this going to work? Dude, I was dying laughing. Comedy's comedy. You hear a good joke, you're there in the moment. We were like crying, laughing, and I'm watching the majority of it on the big screen. I mean, I'm looking at him, and everyone can see me, but you're watching it on the big screen, and it's a 3-camera shoot, so it looks like a special.
And it's an event.
Like, and it's an event.
People get out of the house. Do they charge by car?
Charge by car. It's not cost effective. That's the one.
That's where my head is. It not?
Look at Indianapolis. Look at how big this drive-in theater is. This was, I mean, so much fun.
It looked so fun, dude.
Dude, everyone's got masks on. If you want, like, you're socially distanced, so you can be as safe as you want to be. Like, some people aren't.
That's on them.
That's on them. Miss Pat came out, but I love it. You see a beautiful sunset. We did 2 shows in Indianapolis, and dude, but we got to travel with this stage, the sound crew, the cameramen. We have 3 tour buses in total. Look at that time lapse. Isn't that great? We throw a little sizzle reel up before I go on stage. It's so much fucking fun.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna copy.
Wait, what am I? I'm gonna copy. Please, dude. It's not me. Like, no. I mean, I came up with the idea only because I was like my special drop.
You for sure. I've heard from the jump that you were the one that came up with it.
So March 17th, my special drops, and I'm like, dude, and obviously, you know, stay-at-home orders kick in, numbers are pretty high, like, and I'm
Perfect
like,
timing.
I'm like, yeah, it's sadly it's great timing, but I'm like, I'm not sitting on my hands, man. I'm touring this. I got a new hour already. I'm touring. So I called Nick Nusiforo and I was like, get me in. And I've always been into alternative venues. Or alternative type shows. I used to do a Call and Sick to Work show where I'd go in, drink on air on radio
during the day
from 6 a.m. till 10, and then go straight to the club at 11, and show starts at 11:30. And tell everyone there, Call and Sick to Work, don't go to work today. Come to the club.
Packed, yeah.
And they sell those out immediately. Those would sell out in minutes, right? So this, I called up Nick. I go, yo, get me drive-in movie theaters. He goes, it's not a thing. And I go, no, it can be. I go, get it to happen. He goes, there are no drive-ins. I can't think of any drive-ins. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I can't think of how to do that. And I go, just see if you can figure it out and get me an offer. So he hits me up like 2 weeks later. I'm in the backyard and I'm running with the dogs, and he goes, okay, I got an offer. It's not great. He goes, there's an EDM company who throws like field DJ events. They got a stage they can travel with. They got the whole sound system. They got everything. They can hardwire into a drive-in movie theater's projector and screen, shoot the whole thing. But he's like, you got to travel with 2 extra your tour bus, right? Because you got to be safe. You got to have everyone. You got to offer everyone a separate safe workspace. You got to have that. Then you have a tour bus for the crew. You have 12 on that. Then you have a stage you have to travel with. You have 2 drivers for each. He's like, it's not the best deal, but you can do it. And you'll make some money. And I was like, deal. Do it. We'll write it off to marketing, and it'll be fun. We'll shoot some videos. It'll be fun. It'll be an event. First one I did, I called up Nick. I go, book more, and he was like,
sold me on it.
Book, and then comics, like my favorite comics in the world, all started calling me like, yo, tell me how it's done. And I was like, it's.
But I also feel like you have the type of personality to pull it off. Like it'd be tough for certain comics.
It's not for everyone. It's not for everyone. It's definitely not for everyone.
It's definitely for you.
It's definitely. It's like if you're gonna go, there's a guy who performs with his shirt off. Do you think he could be outside?
Oh, if they were sitting around a table like, God, well, who could pull it off? You're the first name that comes up.
Is any comic that could like Sebastian would murder it? Rogan would murder it. First of all, any arena comic would murder it. Any of those guys that sell Joe Coy fucking destroy. Anyone who takes their stand-up very precious and is like can't roll with the punches or live in the moment.
Yes.
Like that, it becomes difficult for them, I imagine.
It sounds so fun. I want to do it.
Dude,
bad.
I'm telling you, it's an open offer. I'm doing this tour. I traveled with 3 opening acts last time. I'm trimming it down to 2, and then I'm reaching out to comics that are in those areas, or comics are just going, hey, if you want to hop on one
me there
and see what it's like, meet me there, come in.
Interesting.
We'll stay safe. Look at how skinny I used to be.
God damn, Mr. Steal Your Girl.
Yeah, I know. I love you scrolling through my Instagram the way I do.
Hashtag quarantine goals.
That's fine.
Hilarious.
I'm trying to lose weight right now.
Dude, so I was listening to 2 Bears, 1 Cave. You guys are my faves. And you called Warren Sapp. And Tom's idea, Tom's like, dude, called Warren Sapp.
Every episode he goes, call Warren Sapp.
Show.
Yeah.
Warren's not going to answer. Warren calls you Brett, whatever.
Fine.
It's Warren Sapp, Hall of Famer. And you guys convinced him to start a football podcast on Mondays during the football season.
2 Bears, 1 Sapp.
2 Bears, 1 Sapp, which I love. I was like, dude, I want fucking man. Because I don't have any, like, last time Callan was here, I'm talking sports. I'm like, he doesn't know any sport. There's nothing. It's just me yelling at him.
I don't know football the way Tom really knows football.
Me and Tom know football.
Yeah, you and Tom know football. I may not be the right guy for the podcast. Luckily,
you are.
Luckily, I know Warren Sapp.
Fuck yeah, you do. He was in though.
Dude, he texted me this morning, and he's like, because he finally listened to the podcast, and it's Tom and I do our podcast as if we don't realize the people we're trashing are listening, right?
I know.
So like we trashed I think we trashed Dax Shepard once, not in a bad way, but just like
fun.
Just having fun, busting balls.
And you don't think they're gonna hear it.
And then Dax Shepard sent me a fucking shirt for his podcast, and I was like, oh fuck,
shit.
I like Dax Shepard a lot.
He has a great podcast.
He's a great fucking podcast.
Yeah, Armchair Expert's great.
Dude, we did this thing this last podcast. We talked about meeting Jennifer Aniston. Did you see that?
No.
It's the hardest I've ever laughed is the hardest I've ever laughed in my life, without a doubt.
Why the fuck did it take you and Tom so long to do a podcast together? You guys are best friends.
You know,
like
I don't...
Callan. You guys are doing your own thing, but it's like...
I don't know.
Did you and Bert get together before you and Tom?
So Bert and I were doing one because, I mean, it's a real inside baseball, but...
Please.
It's... There was... I don't know how much I can say about it, but Bert and I... There was an opportunity at All Things Comedy that I wasn't interested in, but I felt obligated as a member of All Things Comedy
because you
to participate in.
Things Are Burning, your show.
I do Something's Burning there, and there was a podcast opportunity that I didn't want. I'm trying to be safe, but didn't want Birdcast to be involved in, because Birdcast
That's your own thing.
It's my own thing, and it's doing its own thing. It's part of All Things Comedy, but as far as advertising wise, I'm very happy where I was at. But we had this really great opportunity, and I didn't want to end something working well. And so I said to Bill, I don't want to bring Birdcast over there, but I don't want to lose this opportunity. And he was like, I understand. Well, let's do one together. Let's just do one episode to maybe jumpstart things, see if we like it. We did one, and we had a blast. I mean,
I didn't know you and Bill were that close.
I've known Bill for about 20 years, and I'm the biggest fan of Bill's. Like,
well, he's top 3
easily. And by the way, and I got to tell you,
Chappelle, Bill, you know.
I'm gonna throw Segura in top 5. I mean, Segura for 100%. Me.
Segura has the best special this year, I think.
Oh, and the fact that he didn't get nominated for a fucking Emmy,
get the fuck out of here, dude.
Asinine. I mean, look, all the Emmy nominations were fantastic.
I know he's our boy. I'm telling you, if you haven't seen Tom Segura's special, it fucking bangs.
It's bangs. He'll be doing arenas next year. But him and Bill, like I did one with Bill, and then as soon as I did one with Bill, I was like, Tom and I talked to him. I was like, dude, we got to do a podcast. We've always talked about doing a podcast. And he was like, let's do one. And then so Bill and I did one, but we didn't release it for like 6 months, I think.
Wow.
And so Tom and I started ours, and then ours started gaining traction. And All Things Comedy is like, you and Bill have a great chemistry. It's not even that we have a great chemistry. I think we really love you. Like, I love being with Bill, and Bill gets a kick out of me. And Bill's not the like easiest person to talk to for most people. Like obviously I've brought it up on our podcast, but like him and Theo is like the most notoriously awkward podcast, which I just go, that's Bill Burr. Like,
yeah, Bill's the only, I've been around some tough guys, man. Bill's the only guy where I watch my P's and Q's and I get quiet. Bill scares me. I think because I have so much respect for him,
yeah.
But he's also such a fucking killer, Like, I remember one time I wore a jumpsuit to the Comedy Store. I wore a jumpsuit. I didn't know Bill was going to show up. I wear a fucking jumpsuit like an asshole. And I was so excited about it. Finally comes and I wear it. And we're in the green room and everybody's there and Rogan's there. And Rogan and D'Elia and Callan give me shit for him. Like, oh, God damn. And they're just roasting me. And Bill walks in. I'm like, fuck my life, dude. Yeah. Fuck my life. And Bill looks at me, he makes fun of me, but then he sticks up for me. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Well, that's the thing about Bill. And
this is when he walked in, I was so scared. I'm like, fuck.
This is my breakdown of Bill. And I know Bill won't see this, but I know if he did see this would bother him. But this is my breakdown of Bill. So many people respect Bill and call him top 3. Myself included. Does
he know that, you think?
I think he knows it. I think he ignores it. And I think he thinks it's bullshit.
And that's why he's a GOAT.
That's why he's the best we got.
Yeah.
And so what happens is people try to predict how he's gonna react to be on his side, to jam with him and to groove with him. And he doesn't like that. Bill's a contrarian first and foremost. I will tell Bill things I know he said to me sometimes, and he'll just take the opposite side just for fucking fun. Just to because that's the way his brain works. His brain is so fucking quick that it breaks things apart. And he's a fucking great guy to do a podcast with, because you just bring up a thing like, Bill, any time zone you could go to, any time period, any car, what car would you want to drive? Brand new car, but you go to that time period, and what song would you listen to? And all of a sudden his brain goes, oh, like I was talking to him the other day, and he was like, I go, all the people you'd want to meet. And he's like, oh, the people from the Fantastic, or the Furious 7 or some movie from the whatchamacallits, and just his brain is just different, and he's fun as fuck to talk to. And then
different, but Theo's the same way. For me, Theo's kind of where I can bring up a subject and I know it's just going to open up the fucking floodgates.
Yeah,
and then we're off to the races.
And with Tom, I sincerely knows me probably better than my wife. Like, he knows me so well that there are he knows me so well, and he knows how to make me laugh. Like, he's made me laugh harder than any human being. I swear to God, when we did this last week that's out right now, we talked about the possibility of meeting Jennifer Aniston.
You two did?
We did.
Why?
Because he told me some bullshit story about meeting Jennifer Aniston, and then
he met her.
Yeah, he told me he did, and then I got really involved in the story, and then
so someone else like uploaded it. I don't know if you want to play from this guy's clip.
I don't care. It just if you play it,
Tom, don't flag our fucking podcast.
Don't
showing this.
I'll give you the breakdown of it because it's so much better. Because this guy tells me this long-winded story about meeting Jennifer Aniston that I buy, and then he tells me it's a lie, and I go, oh fuck.
Afterwards,
and then I said, just so you know, in the future we should make a pact that like, if we ever get to meet a famous person, like if they want to meet us, we bring the other person.
Great idea.
And right? And it's
Great
like
idea.
We help each other.
Let me in on the fun.
It's based off a movie premise that we're trying to sell of us becoming best friends with Johnny Depp. So he says, great.
Stupid.
So we are dumb as fuck. So
which I love.
So then I said to Tom, if we get a chance to meet Jennifer Aniston, where should we meet her? And he goes, well, probably at like one of our houses. I go, well, not at my house. We're not going to fit. And I go, we're not doing your house. I go, let's do her house. Yeah. And he's like, good call. And I go, should we bring our wives? He's like, fuck no.
No.
And I go, can she bring a dude? He goes, probably for safety. And then he immediately shifts and he goes, maybe that's the wrong message to send out. And I laugh for 7. If you just go to 2 Bears, 1 Cave, 1 minute, I think 1 hour, 20 minutes in, if you go to 2 Bears, 1 Cave, it is, I swear to God, it's the hardest I've ever laughed. 1 hour, 20 minutes, 40 seconds.
I love that Tampa Bay hat too.
That's a great, Tampa Bay sent that to me. You'll hear the hardest I've ever laughed in my life. Okay, keep going forward. Keep going forward. Scroll. You'll see my face wince up. Keep going.
Keep going?
No, that's how I cut off a skin tag. Keep going. Yeah, this isn't a political podcast, by the way. If you want science or anything intelligent, wrong podcast. Keep going. Way far. You'll see my face wince up. No, keep going way far. I was wrong on time.
Way off on time.
Keep going. There you go. Hit it. Okay.
Yeah.
So a little bit before that?
You're crying.
Yeah.
So if you want to have a couple of security people there.
And then you went,
You're dying.
But if you watch, just go back a titch, and if you watch Tom's delivery, this is what I love about him because he doesn't. Do we just want to do like brunch with her? Or her?
Yeah.
Okay, watch this. Just watch Tom's delivery. Okay.
It's kind of like
brunch?
Presumptive to say we have to be at your house. You know what I mean? Like we just want to. How about we just want to have lunch?
We're not coming to my fucking house. We can't fiddle.
Well, I'm just saying though, we can't. You can't. To is meeting someone is meeting.
Just his delivery is what kills me.
It's got
to be at her house or your house.
Okay.
Do we invite her to your house? No.
Sure.
No, we go to her house.
Okay. How about we say
we bring our wife?
Oh.
No. Watch this. This is what kills me. Good. Can she bring a dude?
For safety. That's the wrong message. It's dangerous. You should protect yourself.
We're dangerous. I'm sweating, man.
Oh, dude, I'm not even breathing.
You guys are ridiculous. For safety. Look at you.
Sounds good. We understand that you might feel threatened in our presence. So if you want to have a couple of security people there, it's a good idea.
You guys are so silly, man.
Okay. There is 7 minutes of laughing like this. So
it's you like this.
This is a message to everyone who wants to cancel comedy. Okay, this is
who wants to cancel comedy.
Fucking everyone's going after everyone these days. True. Cancel. Fuck off. This is if you don't like it, just don't watch. Okay, just tap out because we need this. I'm gonna tell you a real quick story that is very poignant, and I'll probably tell this on 2 Bears 1 Cave next week. But so if you're hearing it twice. So we put our dog down Sunday afternoon.
Oh, fuck, the big dog?
Big dog.
Big dog. Dude, he was great. What happened?
She was fucking the greatest.
Yeah, the best. So friendly.
Blood clot in her heart. due to an aggressive cancer, was bleeding out into her lungs and was losing air. Wasn't really,
that old of a dog? Look,
9 for a bull mastiff is old.
Okay.
And she had five knee surgeries, health problems.
Kids are messed up, right?
Oh, bro.
Your daughters are not doing well.
It was really, really, really tough. Daughters have a really...
Definitely bring home a puppy, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, we already got a couple lined up.
You know what's going on.
And we're going to name them Priscilla 1 and 2. And I'm not a great parent. And so...
Plans enforced. All right.
So it's been rough. And especially like not everyone doesn't know how to... And no one has laughed. So last night we're at dinner and Georgia says... Hey, someone told me something about Jennifer Aniston today. And I went, one of her friends, and I went, oh, yeah. She goes, what is it? And I said, it's something from Two Bears, One Cave. Now, mind you, our family hasn't laughed yet, right? Like, we're still mourning this dog.
How long it's been?
It was at least over 24 hours, so probably like...
heavy.
Like,
heavy.
It's been real heavy.
In the Kreischer house.
Because you take a turn, and where you'd see the dog laying on the couch, you see the imprint of a body, but you don't see the dog. And when you get up in the morning, you don't see the...
He's not wagging his tail.
It's dogs are so much in your life that you don't even know. Like this
is why I don't want a dog.
Hey man,
I don't want to deal with this.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I would argue you shouldn't have kids either. Who wants all these fucking responsibility and all these things that cause vulnerability in your life? Like having children, having dogs, having all these things. When she left and there was a void in our house. I mean, it's just so heavy.
You're in the same house?
Same house. I'm getting out of it ASAP. Fuck that house. I'm done with it.
You have to, right?
I can't live in that house anymore. I just can't.
You guys gonna move with Tom?
No, we've talked about just fucking renting and just renting our house out and just getting out of it because it's like, but we're not. We're building a new house right now, and so we're
same area.
And Pris was lucky enough to play in the yard of the new house because we have the house, so we have memories of Pris at the new house, and this old house is Pris's house. When we got the house, we bought Priscilla. She's there until like practically move out. It's her house. That's her house.
Yeah, you got to get out.
So we're sitting at dinner, and Georgia says, "What's this about Jennifer Aniston?" And I said, "Oh yeah, it's from Two Bears, One Cave." And she says, "Everyone says it's pretty funny." And I said, "Yes, it's funny." And so I go back to the man cave to work out, and I come back in and check, and the girls are in the bedroom, and they're watching it. They're watching the clip someone sent them.
Do they usually watch or no?
They watch Kool-Aid. I don't know if you heard about. I drink a gallon of Kool-Aid a day. And so that's a very funny clip too. And so Tom found out I drank a gallon of Kool-Aid every day.
Are so ridiculous.
so they watch Kool-Aid, and for whatever reason, them watching me and Tom laugh makes them laugh.
Yeah.
There's one thing where Tom talks about get fired, where I spit a drink out of my mouth and I fall on the ground. There's a time when we did Fallon questions to each other. We interviewed because we weren't going to do Fallon because of the COVID. So we did Fallon questions.
Were you supposed to do Fallon?
No, I mean maybe, but we never did anything because there was no fucking.
Can't.
So, and one of the questions were, what are your 3 favorite dwarfs? Oh no, wait, what are your 3 of your favorite 7 dwarfs? But I thought he just meant name your 3 favorite dwarfs. So I was like Peter Dinklage, Wee Man, and Brad Williams.
And those are the only 3 I know.
Yeah, Tom's going like, what fucking answer is that? And he was like, sleepy, sneezy. And I was like, oh, I heard the question wrong. So whenever those clips happen, the girls, their friends, the boys that watch our podcast that are like high school seniors or whatever, will send them to Georgia. Georgia will watch them, yeah. So I come in, Isla's got a refrigerator in her room, and I go to get a soda out of it because that's the only place we can keep sodas. And Georgia and Isla are in their bedroom with Leanne watching that clip of Jennifer Aniston, and they're crying, laughing. Oh, and I took a second, and I went, I'm very lucky that I have a job that if you're going through some bad shit, by the way, that's my job, right? So my 100%. Job isn't to tell you.
That's why we do it.
Yeah, it isn't to tell you science. It isn't to tell you politics.
Nope.
It isn't to tell you anything. I can't talk about sports really. I wish I could. Like I literally was in the shower thinking about this today, and I was like, you're lucky that you can talk legit about. When I say shower, I was in my outdoor shower. I was. You're lucky you have a few skill strengths. Like you can talk about MMA knowledgeably. You can be funny as fucking shit. Like you can do a couple different things. I can only do comedy. I can't talk about so I don't have a bunch of skill sets. However, that one skill set I got where for whatever reason, that I can be in the moment and be real and find funny things to be funny about. If you're going through some shit, like you lost a dog or your parents are in COVID or whatever,
you're the guy.
Whatever I can do is I can get you out of that. I can get your mind off it for like 15 minutes. I can give you 15 minutes break. And for some people, and for my family last night, it was so important because last night, Leanne slept in bed with Isla because she didn't want to be in the bed because Pris usually sleeps with us.
Dang.
So she slept in bed with Isla. Georgia slept in her room, and they all woke up this morning, and there was a different energy in the house. And I'm not saying it was because of that podcast.
Definitely
but
helped.
The fact that they were all on that side of the house, and they all fucking hung out there, and I went out to the treadmill, worked out, came in, got in the pool, went to bed, did my own thing. I had radio at like 6 a.m, so they wanted to be away from me. That's what is important about these fucking podcasts and stand-up comedy.
They're huge, dude.
And it's like, listen, by the way, I'm defending Hannah Gadsby on this shit. Like, if you're getting upset about Hannah Gadsby.
What did she say?
And no, I'm just saying, like, people want to take down Hannah Gadsby.
No, who gives a fuck?
Yeah, who gives a fuck?
Who gives a fuck?
I liked her last hour.
Your cup of tea.
Like, yeah.
But who gives a fuck?
And I'm saying that to our fans that go
100%.
like, fuck. What, some there are meatheads listening that's going, fuck Hannah Gadsby. Dude, it just don't care.
It's not for you.
It's not for you.
But why do you care? Why do you care?
Yeah, that's my thing. Is like,
me too. I don't understand it. If that's not your cup of tea, just change the channel.
Yeah.
Click on something else.
Just don't and you can have opinions. I definitely have opinions about people's acts. I'm a comic.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I'm going to be.
But I don't think they should stop working.
Yeah. No, at all. And because someone like, say Hannah Gadsby slips up, right, and says something off color about, I don't know, MMA or something. I don't know, we're somewhere that's not her skill set.
I don't give a fuck.
It's like, let it go.
I also don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. You and Tom do the podcast once a week?
Yeah, once a week, and then.
So when you guys see each other, it's on.
Yeah, so I see him, and then, but we don't really plan it out like you guys. We have no subject.
I don't think you can.
But I think that's what, when you started, you were so good at, like, I remember watching Fighter and the Kid, genuinely envious, going like, God damn it, man, they got chemistry. That's so hard to find.
Super hard to find.
It's hard to find. I mean, it's hard to find as trust. Like, when you trust people, like when you trust them comedically, and you go, I'm going to go there, and I know you're not going to flip it and throw me under the bus.
Yeah.
Because some dudes will do that. Like, when you go on their podcast, you'll say something, and they'll think, this will get views.
I know.
Flip it, and let's fuck them a little bit.
I think, so started Fighting the Kid, and then when I got with Theo, me and Theo were close friends, but doing a podcast a little different, and we didn't fully trust each other at the beginning.
Yeah.
So it almost came off as mean.
Theo's an interesting guy.
The most interesting guy.
He really.
I've never had a friend like him. I love Theo to fucking death. He makes me laugh so hard. His mind is so different than anything I've ever been around.
Oh, if we're gonna be really honest,
please.
And I know that she won't see this, but this is the truth. Amy Schumer and I feel like we discovered Theo. We feel like, and I know he had already had somewhat of a career of like, he had been in media and stuff and like that. As far as stand up, I will go out on a limb and say Amy Schumer and I were the first people to appreciate what made him brilliant. You will never. If I was Theo Von, I would purchase. I would spend all my money that I have, and I would purchase the rights to get all the footage of Reality Bites Back, all the footage, and then I would edit a Theo Von show called Theo Von's Reality Bites Back, and I would just play him because he was by far
Reality Bites or real
Reality Bites Back was a reality show. Me, Theo Von, Donnell Rollins, Red Grant, Jesus Amy Schumer, Christ. Tiffany Haddish.
What?
Dude, it was the most
on what network?
Killer on Comedy Central. It was, take a look. Michael Ian Black hosted it, and it was like, I'm talking like
bunch of killers.
It was funny.
Amy Schumer had the best thing. They're different now and they're getting better, but she said Comedy Central is a network that would find a gold brick and paint it bronze.
Yeah, that's actually
Isn't that a great quote?
Yeah, that's a great
Isn't that a great quote?
We did, that's the cast right there. Chris Fairbanks, Amy Schumer, Jeff Garcia, me, Mo Mandel, Red Grant, Theo Von, Tiffany Haddish, Donna Rollins, and Kyle Cease. A lot of talent. But I will tell you, man, Donnell Rollins was the funniest guy on set. Like, on set, to be funny, no one beats Donnell Rollins.
I call him Legend. When I see him at the store at the Laugh Factory, I just go, "What's up, Legend?" and I dip out.
So Kyle Cease, if you can zoom in really tight on Kyle Cease,
which one is he?
He's wearing is the white guy on the top, right next to Donnell. He made a series of hats that said Week 1, Week 2, Week 3, Week 4, Week 5, Week 6, for all the weeks he would be on. Now it's an elimination show, right? So everyone's competing.
Doing stand-up?
Doing doing reality. We're doing reality shit. Like
Weird.
It was a spin-off of every reality show was out there. Like, So You Think You Could Dance, we would do So You Think You Could Dive. And it would be it was an interesting show.
Great concept.
It was a great show. It was great. And so Theo, I'm sitting with Red Grant and Donnell Rollins on a stoop out at this mansion we're at, and Kyle Cease comes up with a hat that says Week 1, and Donnell Rollins looks at him and goes, "That's right, son, you are the Week 1."
That's hilarious.
And fucking Kyle Cease goes, "I don't think it's spelt that way." And he goes, "In my neighborhood, it is." You know what? Take the one off. Just wear a hat that says weak, because you're weak, son. Dude, we were crying, laughing. That was like...
But was Theo back then, like, I know we have a mutual friend, Kevin, who's known Theo since the Real World days. He was a producer on there. And he goes, we weren't really allowed to laugh, but Theo, we didn't know how funny it was. He would say stuff so off the cuff. It was so fucking funny. He goes, because I wasn't allowed to laugh, I'd shake the camera. I had to walk away and come back, and it was so fucking funny. And he goes, and then when he started doing stand-up, we're like, oh, thank God. But then we saw him do stand-up, but he wasn't himself
He didn't figure it out.
He wasn't himself.
He didn't
and they
figure
go,
it
if
out.
he could bottle him just in a normal setting to the stage, you're going to have a fucking superstar.
He was... I swear to God, if I could get Amy on the phone, I don't even think I have her name. I don't even have my phone.
Should probably change her number.
Yeah, but me and her would make eye contact when he said stuff and just shake our heads and go.
Never heard of it. It's an alien.
But what people love about Theo right now, he was doing that, but he's not doing it on purpose. No. It was just this, it's him, and it's his weird sense of humor of what he finds funny. And by the way, sometimes he'd say it to himself, and like, you'd hear it and you'd go, I mean, at the finale episode, Theo ended up winning, I think, the whole series. And at the finale episode, Amy and I were crying, laughing. Amy, me, and Chris Fairbanks were crying, laughing and Red Grant at how funny Theo was. And they didn't use any of it. They didn't use none of it at all.
Crazy.
But we just said, and then when you watch him in stand up, he was stumbling where you go like, that's not you. That's not the funny thing yet. And now when you watch him on
figured it out.
Podcast, you're like, oh fuck, and
it's game over. But he when we did a show at the Orpheum Theater in Phoenix, it was Ari, Brian, me, Big J, and Theo, and we were trying to figure out the order. Obviously, I went first, and then Theo did like second to last. And he was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. You know, Theo. He's like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Man. I get this new bit. You know, I was here just a few months ago. I'm going to do this new bit. And he does this new bit and just destroys the fucking room. And then comes in the back and, Theo, he's like, fuck, dude, it didn't go well. We're like, what is wrong? Dude, you set this fucking place on fire, man.
Yeah.
He's like, really? And everyone's like, oh, dude. And Callan was like, you're such a special dude, man. Callan had this talk, Callan's the elder. He's like, dude, he gave him this whole talk on how special he is and his special skill set.
He really is.
You want to shake him. You want to shake Theo.
Like, there's dudes like that are like I would always say, I mean, I think he's absolutely hilarious on stage. But Mark Norman's one of those guys that is.
Oh my God.
I enjoy more off. Like, I love his stand up on stage. Don't get me wrong, but I love him off stage almost more. Like, almost more off stage. His broken parts are the fucking most adorable, hilarious things to be around. Mark. He told me a story. I'll never share this story ever in my life. He told me a story one morning, the most hungover I'd ever been. We're in Amsterdam. I smoked a great deal of marijuana. I think I ate an edible, and I drank my face off, right? And we went out partying. I didn't get back to my room until like 4 a.m. Our car service picked us up at 6 a.m. I am hungover as fuck. I had turned on this in Europe. The showers get real hot, so I'd steam every morning. I'd turn on the shower real hot, and I'd try to sweat it out. So I'm in the van waiting to go. Tour manager waiting for Mark, soaking wet with sweat, going to the airport. Mark Norman comes off and goes, "Oh, buddy, do I have a story for you?" I was in that van. Like, that's what I love about comedy. Fuck everything. You know what's so funny is like the stories we tell each other behind the scenes, the ones that we go like what we did before the podcast starts, where we kind of bullshit.
I wish we could hear that.
That's what podcasting was when we started.
I know.
Like when you
can't now.
Back when you do Rogan like 10 years ago, whatever it was, 10 years ago. Is it 10 years?
10 years. for you.
You just go on and you would burn every bridge you had. You
didn't give a fuck. Now it's weird, right?
It was like, I mean, I remember going on that first episode and just being like, I remember I had got because I'd done a bunch of radio and I had a couple bits ready. I had this story about fighting a bear that's really funny, and I was like, I'll slide it in. But to be fair, like, and I'm being fair. Joe and Brian might have a very different perspective of this, but to be fair, I don't think that Joe and Brian didn't. It wasn't the show that it is today.
Different
right?
animal. Yeah.
It was like Joe hadn't really. I remember when Joe formed a concept of like realizing people were listening. Like I remember him saying to Brian, people listen to this, right? Like we can't just waste their fucking time, because Brian would just interrupt the most interesting conversation 100%. And go, butthole is Olive Garden. Yeah. And some scientist would be like, who the fuck is this?
What the fuck are you doing, dude? Yeah.
But it was like, as a fan of the show, you're like
loving it.
It was the best. There was a compilation clips called O'Brien, and it is hilarious. But I remember going in thinking, I'll have a couple prepared bits. Like, if they go to me, I'll have a couple jokes I can slide in. But Rogan's not he wasn't a radio guy. He was a comic. So the second you started to go to a bit, you'd see his eyes just shut down and just be like.
You can feel it. There's something where if it's not working, or you got to jump off it, you can feel it. It's very strange.
And he was like, I'm not saying he was a different guy, but he was a different guy.
Well, he's playing a different game now.
Yeah, he's playing a different game. And there were times where you do the podcast, and I mean, I'm saying him too. I'm saying me. I'm saying everyone.
All of us
did not know the camera was on. I didn't know that we were talking to mics. You're just in Joe's house.
I still don't. Like you guys have been doing it way longer, but I still don't. There are times where I'm like, what the fuck? I said that? What the fuck? It's like, people listen? What the fuck am I doing?
I remember,
back to Greg, to Norman. Where did you find? Because he's a New York comic.
Yeah,
New York based. Where'd you find him?
I think I met him through Amy.
What's up, T-Fat-K Army? Man, do I got something to talk to you guys about. I'm talking about the best electric scooter you've ever seen in your life. Everybody's around town messing with these bullshit scooters. No, man. I'm talking about the Unagi Model 1 scooter. It's only 26 pounds. It's one click. It folds up and down. It has a 15-mile range with the battery life. It goes 20 miles per hour, but there's a hack where you can go way faster. Kick that bitch into Fast and Furious mode. Incredible build quality. It looks dope. It's basically the Tesla of electric scooters. It's so sick, man. I came home, I had a box. I'm like, what is this thing? I opened it up. It's an Unagi scooter, and it looked so dope. It was super easy to put together. By put together, I mean, it was one click. It was ready to go. I charged that bad boy, 15-mile radius, man. I was getting around town, 20 miles an hour. It's only 26 pounds. My son's obsessed with it. I put him on the front. We cruise around. I love my Unagi scooter. It was named the best all-around electric scooter by CNET and just won first place for best electric scooters of 2020 by Tom's Guide. It's dope, man. It's dope. Don't worry about getting COVID on a bus or being in an Uber. Use this thing, get around town. Again, 15-mile range. You going anywhere in 15 miles, you go back and forth. It's great, man. You can get yours today at unagiscooters.com. That's UNAGI scooters.com. Use the promo code TFATK, that's TFATK, for $150 off your own Unagi E500 while supplies last. That's unagiscooters.com, the best scooter, period. We are also brought to you by Whoop, the best fitness device on the planet. I'm talking about a little strap you wear around your wrist. It measures your heart rate 100 times per second. Do you know how much calories you're burning when your thick ass is on the bike? Maybe you're part of the Thick Boy Bike Club and you're riding around like, I think I'm burning calories. I think I'm going to lose weight. Take the thinking out of it. No more thinking, no more guesswork. Let the Whoop strap figure it all out. I'm talking about your strain. How much calories are you burning in your workout? How high is your heart rate going? All right? Don't guess anymore, man. Get it down to an exact science with Whoop. 100 times per second heart rate. What are we talking about here? We're talking about your strain. How about your recovery? Whoop monitors your recovery, man. Should you be going 30 miles the next day? Should you be resting? What should you be doing? They take all that into consideration. They give you recovery, your strain, and then guess what? You wear it while you sleep. How much sleep are you getting? How much good sleep are you getting? Are you getting the REM cycle? What exactly are you doing? This calculates all that. It comes in a dope strap. All you got to do, it connects to your phone device, Android or your iPhone. Whoop is offering you guys 15% off with the code FIGHTER at checkout. That's Whoop, WHOOP.com. Enter the code FIGHTER at checkout. Save 15% off. Sleep better, recover faster, train smarter. Optimize, I sound like Boston, train smarter. Optimize your performance with Whoop. Whoop.com, promo code FIGHTER.
I think I must have met him.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
He told me, do you know his birth story?
His birth story?
Bill Burr.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, he was telling his story. I was laughing so fucking hard. Can I give the rundown of it?
Please. Yeah.
So he doesn't know. He doesn't know Bert that well, and they're in New York
at all.
But obviously, everyone looks up to Bill Burr. He's fucking Tom Brady right now. So he's excited, and they're at the Comedy Cellar or whatever in New York, and he sees Burr sitting by himself, and they're at the table, and he's like, I'm gonna talk to Burr. I'll see you guys later. So he goes over them. Bill goes, dude, let's get the fuck out. They don't know each other at all. But Bill goes, let's get the fuck out and go to another bar, man. Let's do whatever here. So,
close your eyes and picture excited Mark Norman going.
Mark Norman's like, hell yeah.
With Bill
Burr? He
Burr?
said he turns around at the other comic goes,
he slides his jacket arms just a little bit more up, and he's like, oh, sunglasses going in the top pocket now.
So they go,
look at it. By the way, is that not an accurate jacket sleeves? Look at his jacket sleeves. That's fucking Mark Norman, jacket sleeves.
So they go to this bar, and they're drinking. He said things are fun. And then a song turns on. I don't know. It's like AC/DC or something.
Yep.
Led Zeppelin or something. And he said things are going great. He looks at Bill Burr and goes, they say the N-word in this song, but it's hidden. Bill's married to, a black lady. And Bill goes, Mark goes, right when he said it came out of his mouth, he knew he fucked up. But Bill goes, what? And he goes, in the song, he goes, oh, fuck it. In the song, they say the N-word, but it's hidden. And Bill goes, what the fuck you talking about? And Mark's like, wait, what? And he goes, he's in his face shouting, basically tell him why millennials and he goes, I'm like this, and he's yelling, he's like, hey Burr, I'm the nice guy, remember, dude? So he goes, he's like, oh fuck, I fucked up with Bill Burr. So he leaves. He goes, the next morning they have like press to do, and it's like 7 a.m. and he doesn't want to show up. He's like, oh fuck, I fucked it up with Bill. And he sees Bill, and Bill goes, what's up, man? They're super happy. He's like, oh fuck, thank God, man. It's so fucking good.
Oh, dude, my favorite, this is not to, but my favorite drinking story is I was a huge fan of Dave Attell's. I still am. I'm a massive Dave Attell
Also
fan.
nervous around Dave Attell.
I have just gotten not even comfortable, but to the place where I can, like, if he calls, I'll answer it as opposed to not answer it and then text him. I'll answer it now, right? So, young comic, me and Eddie Ift are walking into a bar that was right next to the cellar called Off the Wagon. And we walk in and we see Attell sitting at the bar with his joke book. And as we sit down, we're like, oh, Attell's over there. We sit down and we're like, we should go over and like buy him a drink or like say hi. Like, we'll go over, buy him a drink, say hi, and see if we can hang with him. And he's like, good call. So we go to get up out of our table to go over to Attell. And as we do, the bartender literally stops us. He like steps right up to the table with 2 shots of whiskey, puts it down, and he goes, gentlemen, these are from Dave Attell. And we're like, fuck yeah. We grab it, keep getting up from the table, and he sits us down and he goes, leave him the fuck alone.
So
fucking Attell just bought us 2 shots to go send him a mail. Tell him not to bother me.
Tell him to leave me the fuck alone. Wow. What a boss.
Yeah. It's
what a fucking boss, man.
I want to get Burr to go off the wagon. He's been on the wagon now for a while. I think he might be done drinking. But I want a night of Burr.
Oh my God,
going hard.
Did maybe it's different because I'm so tied to Brian Callen. Did you get shit when you started a podcast with Burr? Because did people realize how close you were? Because you have your own pod. You're similar to me. You have your own podcast.
Yeah.
You have the podcast with you and Tom. Then you have a podcast with you and Bill Burr. So I have my podcast, Showtime. I have Fire and the Kids with Brian Callen. Then I do King's Theme with Theo Vaughn.
Yeah, I don't think, oddly enough, I don't think enough people cross over. Like, Burr's fans are, sometimes I don't think Burr's fans know there are other comedians. You know, like I think they're just like
He's the end of the road
dude.
for them.
I mean, for all of us, speaking is like, I love what more Burr is just more better for me. So like I think people were like, do it fine, Bert. Just as long as we get Burr to talk more, that's all we're looking for.
That makes sense.
And then I think me and Tom's fans are probably Burr fans as well. Like definitely Burr fans.
A little more silly,
I think they're more silly. I think they're they like getting in the comments and making jokes. Bert fucks dogs and Bert smells like shit and like all the fucking. So I think there's more like, I don't know. It's definitely different energies.
Different.
And I think my podcast fans are like a weird draw of like an eighth of both of them. Like not like it's not even like a full grouping. So I don't know. I always wondered that when you started with King of this thing, I was like, I wonder if Fighter and the Kid fans will feel betrayed. But I look at it as
so different because like I don't consider King Sing a podcast. It's more of like a highly produced, almost digital TV show. That thing's so produced, meaning there's bits, there's segments. It's like, you know, it's once a week, and there's the production that goes into that is so the cost of that thing is so much more higher than anything I do.
Yeah,
you know, so it's so different. It's all fan driven, fan submissions.
It's a very different show than this.
Completely different. And if it wasn't different, you know, I got Brian's blessing before I did it. You know, I had to.
Ours happened at the same time. So I had done one with Bill, and I told Tom how much fun it was. And then Tom and I were like, let's do one. And then me and Tom started doing it before they ever released me and Bill. And so we had like probably like 5 episodes before me and Bill came out. And then they both kind of happened at the exact same time a little bit. And they're so different. They really are different. I think I'm probably more serious with Bill in that I listen more, and with Tom, I can't even explain it. It's just like
it's fun.
It's just chaos.
That's the same with Brian. I mean, me and Brian have fun, but you know, lately for Firing the Kid with Brian, it's been not a struggle, but it's like we both got Corona. We're talking about the pandemic. Like sometimes it gets so serious. Yeah. I don't want to talk about it, but it's like we have nothing. Like thank God sports coming back, or we started touring a little bit, but it's like fuck, dude.
Yeah, I think I definitely have felt the brunt of being too honest, because I've really let my guard down with Tom, in that I'll tell everything. I'll tell everything,
Mm-hmm.
like, but only because that's how me and Tom's relationship started with me and him driving to do Brea or Ontario or Irvine. So we would do Thursday nights or Tuesday, Wednesday nights. Every week we'd do them in those clubs. So every week I'd pick him up and we'd drive an hour in the car and an hour back.
You get close doing that too.
Yeah, like and what made each other laugh was based off those. I mean, I don't know how many hours of conversations, and so he knows me. I mean, he knows things about me that my wife has said to me one time. There's one conversation specifically that my wife said to me one time about sex that I shared with Tom, that if I even hinted to, he would pick up immediately. Go, I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, yeah, but. I mean, and then I took him to open for me a couple times, and so we had these long drives to Sacramento, and so yeah, like our relationship is very, very different than me and Bill.
It's just a different dynamic.
And yeah, and Bill and I have guests on, like we had Dave Portnoy on the other day.
Who I love.
And Dave Portnoy is fucking awesome, and so we'll have guests on where Tom and I would never have. We actually talked about that one time because we were talking. Tom's like friends with like Ricky Williams or something. And he was like, I want to do a podcast with Ricky. I want to have him on, but he's not right for your mom's house. Like, could we do him on Two Bears, One Cave? And then
do the football podcast.
And now with the football podcast, I think we just got to figure out the logistics of it. But I'm telling you, man, it all started huge. It all started because I became friends with Warren Sapp, and we would text. I did an ESPN show, and they asked me
what show.
I have no fucking idea. I have no idea.
How long ago?
9 years ago.
Okay.
And they said if you could ride roller coasters with one NFL football player, who'd it be? And I said Warren Sapp. And they said why?
Just a Florida reference?
No, because I love when he laughs. His giggle is very infectious. Funny. His laugh is very infectious, and I love it. I love his laugh and I love his personality. I think he's a very sweet. Like I didn't know this at the time. I just liked his laugh, and so then everyone started hitting up Warren Sapp on Twitter, and this is right when Twitter was really like blowing up.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Warren Sapp just called me out of the blue, and he goes, "Who the fuck are you?" And I was like, "Who's this?" And he's like, "It's Warren. He got it from Cowhead. My buddy Cowhead gave it to him." And he's like, "What are you, a professional wrestler or something?" 'Cause my name was Bert the Conqueror. And I go, no, I do roller coasters. He's like, all right. He goes, I'll ride roller coasters with you. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, my kids love roller coasters. Let's do it. Set it up. So I told Travel Channel. They flew him out to LA. Me and him hung out on set for like a couple hours.
Good dude.
Great. That's why I have a hard time if I hear people say something negative about him. I shut down. I go, hold on. You understand, man.
Football fans though, bub.
Yeah, and so he was the sweetest guy on set. Everyone took pictures with everyone. We rode roller coasters. He rode, and then my favorite part of the story is we get done, and he's looking like we get done, but he's not done. He's like just rode a couple roller coasters. It's 8 a.m, and he's like, man, I wouldn't mind hanging out here today and riding roller coasters. And I said, you should. And he goes, it'd be a shit show because people might come up to me. And I said, Warren, I got the guy with the key to all the roller coasters right there. And he's like, what? I was like, yo, come here. I go, hey, Warren wants to ride some roller coasters. Can you take him around? He's like, let's go. They got in a golf cart at 8 a.m. and took Warren Sapp through Magic Mountain and put him on every roller coaster by himself. All you saw was a size 15 shoe flying through the air. Just Warren Sapp, just
Hall of Famer.
It was awesome. And so we kept in touch. He'd hit me up. He'd be like, yo, let me know if you're coming to Orlando. We'll go fishing. And then I told Tom's a big football guy. And so I told Tom about Warren. And so one of our first episodes, we were talking about famous people we had on our phones. And I was like, I got Warren Sapp. He's like, call him. And so we started calling him. And then I would text with Warren later in the day, be like, what did you need? And I'd be like, well, we're trying to call you. And it just matched up perfectly.
Finally he answered, dude.
And
it's so funny.
He's
like, what's up, Brett?
And then Tom took the phone and he called Tom Brett. Then we started a text chain and he called Tom Tony and me Brett. And it was like, Tom and I are crying laughing because we're texting with Warren Sapp. He's like, Tony, whatever you and Brett want, we're doing.
Dude, and if Warren Sapp is smart, and I know he's made a lot of money, but him starting a football podcast with you two is the best thing. Warren Sapp, if you see this, if somebody gets, I'm telling you, it's one of the smartest things you can do, Bubba.
Brother, he doesn't know.
Dude, I'm fucking telling you, as a former athlete, get with Tom and Bert and do the podcast. Not only it will be bigger than any ESPN show you can do, any Fox football show you can do. It will reach more people than any TV job you can do.
Me and Tom started this, and we were like, because obviously I'm from Tampa. And I went to Florida State. I remember Warren Sapp going out and grabbing parts of the Seminole head out of the just fucking
baller. And I love that Tom asked him about The Rock. Dwayne. Was Dwayne any good? He's like, not really.
Dude, we sat and we were like, I'm not talking shit, but like, Tom and I know the kind of business we do with podcasting. And we were just joking. We're like, one reckless football player. Who would you get? Like one reckless that would be fun, good on camera, but like
to do a show with
that would do a podcast where people would go, oh, we're talking real. We're talking like real, like fuck corporate. Corporate's kicked me out.
Yeah.
I want to make real content. Like what we do, where you go, no filter, no nothing. I may get in trouble, but my sponsors are on. Yep. The podcast fans and like it. I'm doing my thing. And both of us said Warren Sapp at the same time. We also said Clinton Portis. Clinton Portis is probably fucking one of my favorite fucking Monday mornings after the games. You're like, Clinton Portis said what?
He's good. He's a little too hoodie.
A little
too hoodie for the viewers.
Dude, too hood. I'm a big fan of those guys that talk shit.
Me too. Warren Sapp's probably the best.
He's the best. And
I'm trying to think of a better
brother. This dude has. I was about to say the brother. I was about to say brother. This dude, and then I said the brother. This dude knows football, like commentating. So
Warren Sapp?
Warren Sapp. So,
he's
like he legit.
For ESPN.
Yeah, he legit knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he's an analyst.
So if we take him and we show him the reckless side of this fun thing that we do.
No, you're unleashing them, dude.
Yeah.
Releasing the hounds.
And all Tom and I are like, dude, once Warren Sapp finds the stride and goes,
I can do this.
I can do this.
And people are watching. And you're selling merch. And I'm getting how much a month?
And then he starts going.
You know how big sports podcasts way bigger than what we do, brother.
And then one day he goes, I guarantee you, a year in, he goes, hey man, I appreciate what you guys did. I'm going to jump off and do this with Deion Sanders. And by the way, as a fan, we go, you got to do what you got to do. We hope that we show Warren such a good time on podcasting and show him in the right direction of like what you can do. Because I don't think a lot of like guys in traditional media that have worked in traditional media understand how free this art form is and how fun it can be and how you can connect directly with fans. We're
more
talking
people gravitate towards this than that button-up job you're doing on TV.
way more. And
not even close.
Imagine if you could have, like, obviously our podcast gets bigger numbers than, you know, whatever fucking TV shows.
Any
that are
show
out
on
there.
ESPN we destroy.
Yeah. And so imagine if those motherfuckers could sell merch. That's what Tom and I were like, let's make two bears, one Sapp.
Warren Sapp shirt, dude? Are you kidding me?
Warren Sapp says one thing sideways that is like, oh yeah, Charles Haley's got a big dick. And then all of us are like, make that shirt. Charles Haley's got a big dick. Warren Sapp.
And it's made within days, dude. And we're selling it in days. And you're getting all the proceeds.
Dude, it's going to blow his mind. And Tom and I know that. We just got to get him to trust us enough.
It's impossible to make him. You're going to do it, and hopefully Warren Sapp gets savvy to it. Do you know the only other like kind of guys who are kind of like us who are doing it in that sports space? Do you know Bussin' with the Boys with Will Compton?
No.
Do you know what?
Wait, no, I do. I do. I actually do. I just saw them.
They're out of Nashville. And so it's Bussin' with the Boys.
I just saw them the other day. The other fucking day I saw them.
So he's my guy. So Will Compton, he's a linebacker for the Raiders. He's a linebacker for the Tennessee Titans for a long time. And then his other boy, Taylor, is the starting left tackle, pro baller for the Tennessee Titans. They do a podcast, but it's like us, where they're just let loose. Like they had the head coach on from the Tennessee Titans, and Will just got cut. He got released, and they had the coach on, and he's like, "Well, you just giving it to him. Like you weren't fucking good, dude. We had to let you go. Like just like they're
they
like
AJ,
us."
I know.
Will Compton, Taylor Lewin.
Dude,
yeah.
have you ever listened to? I mean,
They just signed with Barstool, by the way.
I just did with Dave Portnoy. Dave Portnoy and I said this on the podcast. I would never sign with anybody. I would always do my own thing. But I said that to Dave Portnoy, so I'm not talking out of school. But like you see what happened with those girls, those I don't forget their names.
I don't know.
Call her daddy.
Call me daddy.
Call her daddy. And my agent was the one dealing with a lot of that, and yeah, they fucked up, dude.
Well, they fucked up because they didn't own their RSS feed. You gotta own your RSS feed.
You gotta own your IP.
own your own shit.
Yes.
Because Dave Portnoy just proved it. Like he proved it. He said, I talked to him about this, so I'm not talking out of school, but he was like, they want to talk shit, I'll get on their RSS feed
and say what I want to say.
Say what I want to say to their fans.
I own their feed, so I have the access to all their people.
Dave Portnoy was a great fucking interview. He was awesome, man.
Brilliant guy.
Very brilliant dude. But yeah, like Pat McAfee, his podcast is phenomenal. AJ Hawk, phenomenal.
They're great.
But and like McAfee,
But Pat was at Barstool
and then walked
and
away
was
and
like, I'm just gonna do my own thing.
Yeah,
man.
because
He's
that's where
huge.
it's at. That's where anyone's thinking about starting a podcast. Here's where people fuck up. Ready? I mean, this is my take. And by the way, I could arguably say I'm an expert in podcasting because I've been doing it as long as anybody. I've been in podcasting not as long, but pretty much. You own your own shit, because the biggest mistake these people make is they go, so what's in it for me? Like, give me a deal. I want, like, how much can you get podcasting? And you're like, people are making good money. Sign me up for a deal. $250,000, you own everything? I'm in. And you're like, no, that's short money. Yeah. That's short money because
short-sighted.
I didn't make any money on my podcast for the first, probably 5 years, maybe 5. I don't even know how long I've been doing it, but like for a long time, I didn't make any money. But I loved it, and I fell in love with it, and I found my voice, and I started doing it more and more, and I had great episodes, and then people found it, and then I got it monetized. I'm talking about Bertcast right now. And now I can do with Bertcast whatever I want. If I want to spend an hour talking about putting my dog down, I get to, because my fans are tuning into there, and I get the same numbers, and it increases every week. So I know I'm dialing in to my fan base where I can communicate my message. I've toured, dude. I could put out a tour. I say it on my podcast. The tour sells out. Those are my fans. They want to come out and see me. Now I can also say it on me and Tom's, me and Bill's. I'm owning a part of all those.
Correct.
So all those kids that we all know the comics or the actors that go on a podcast. How much money you make? And you're like, you're already
you're out.
You're out.
That's
you're already out.
Doing it. Well, it's like Brian for the longest time. I would go to these functions with him, and they'd say, "Oh, what are you doing?" And he was, "I'm doing this podcast," and all his Hollywood friends would make fun of him.
And
then Brian was so ashamed of it.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I'm telling you, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I'm telling you, we just got to keep doing it, dude.
I'm telling you from my seat, they're fun to do. Like, I'm just saying, like, I really enjoy them.
Listen, man, when I get COVID, I had to do just Zooms, and I couldn't come in the studio and do what we do. Not having stand-up sucks. Not being able to come into the studio and do the podcast fucking blows, man.
Yeah,
it was awful.
I've been doing Zooms for Bertcast, and I'm kind of bummed. I'm better to get. I can get better guests than normal, like because a lot of people from the East Coast wouldn't normally do it, but then now they'll do a Zoom. Bert and I are doing Zoom. I don't even know if we'll go back to regular ones because I enjoy doing Zooms with him.
Really? I fucking hate. As a viewer, I hate Zoom. I want you and Bert together. I'm telling you, it's better when you and Bert are together.
I think so, but I can.
Because you can't, like,
we listen
if we did
better.
A Zoom, yeah, I know.
We listen a lot better.
I know. But that's what's fun. Like, it'd be like, oh, you interrupt. It's like, that's what we do, man.
Yeah.
A little bit. But, like, there's nothing like in person, man.
Yeah,
you just can't get the vibe.
I agree. I love a good in-person. I'm building a podcast studio. And
Where?
so I'm at the new place. And
yeah.
I'm ready to get that up and running and start getting guests in and set up I miss that a lot.
There's nothing better. I get a piece so bad. Can we take a 2
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Dude, Rogan, our boys moving to Texas, man. I've started looking at it. I don't know if it's. I've been talking about this a lot lately. I talked about with Catherine Wood about this. I want to get your thoughts on it. Tom called me the other day. He goes, dude, I'm talking to some people. I heard you might be moving to Austin. I'm like, well, hold on. I'm looking at it, dude. So I don't know if it's just because we're in this pandemic and it's a shit show. And then if you drive by the Comedy Store, I get real sad. It's like, is that ever coming back? Am I ever going to see my friends? Is any of this opening back up? So it's just like right now is like the worst time to think about it. So I don't know if it's going to come back. And then obviously Joe's a huge influence on me. You know, one of our best friends. Yeah. He's going there. And then you talk to him and you're like, oh, fuck, sounds pretty tasty, dude. And then you start looking at properties like, holy shit, I can get that out there. And then there's gonna be comedy clubs, and it's in kind of I can travel easier, and then
travel a lot easier, and you're
because when I was talking, I would say they're like Bert's gonna do it. I'm like Kreischer's going. That's how it goes because he goes because now everyone's like Schaub's going. Everyone's like Schaub's going. Someone goes Bert's going. I'm like fuck, Bert's going.
Yeah, I wish. I got 2 kids in high school. There's no fucking.
There's no way, right?
There's no moving for me. No, there's no moving for me, and like. I mean, here's the other thing is like, I really wish I could be the guy who like convinced maybe I don't wish I had the wife, but like where I go, hey, all our friends are moving. Do you want to move? And she'd be like, they're not my fucking friends. They're your friends.
And she's like, what?
She
makes sense.
She's only hung out with Rogan's wife twice. Like she's like, her and Christina are really close, but like they only seen each other like probably 50 times in their lives.
Busy.
Yeah. And so like
it sounds good. It sounds good, but then we look at the logistics, and Theo was like, I'm down, man. Theo, I'm down, man. I'm thinking about Nashville. So he's going to Nashville next week just to like explore. And then Theo calls me, he goes, hey, man. He goes, you think like, if I'm in Nashville, you're in Austin. He's like, well, I guess we're going to have to figure out King of the Sting. I fly back every month, and we fly to LA. I'm like, yeah. He's like, and then what guests would you have for your podcast? And I'm like, yeah. Like when you go through the logistics, I'm like, fuck, dude. It's just tough because here we have like this hub and like all our boys here. Like if I'm in Austin and Brian fucks off to who knows where and he's like, figure out for a week, I can't call Bert to come on show. I can't call Tom or
here's the
Theo.
Here's the thing that makes me sad. Really makes me sad.
It's all sad.
It's really sad.
It's all sad.
There's a lot of sadness in this COVID thing. By the way, not just in people getting it and losing jobs and losing businesses but like we're affected also because the store will not be what it was in December. In December, it was like crazy. I mean, it was insane. The lineup I had for March 17th, I was doing the Call and Sick to Work show. I think we talked about this on this podcast. I was doing a Call and Sick to Work show. It was the show I used to do. And the lineup I had was ridiculous.
At the Comedy Store.
At the Comedy Store.
I was part of it.
At 10 in the morning. It started, I think, at 10 in the morning or 11 in the morning, and it went on till 4. And it was the greatest comics on the West Coast. I won't say in the world, but I could argue in the world.
There's argument.
In the greatest venue in the world at an odd hour that was going to be one of the greatest shows I'd ever been a part of. And I'm saying like Jeffries, Sebastian, me, you, Callan, D'Elia, Rogan. No, I don't know. Actually, I don't know if Rogan had said it, but Rogan, I think
Theo
Spade, Norm Macdonald, Theo, Segura, Bert. Like it was just like a monsters lineup. Whitney, a lot. I reached out to I named all dudes, and I want you to think I had a bunch of
two girls at the end.
Yeah. Well, no, but I had reached out to a lot of women too.
Gotcha.
Taylor Tomlinson, and so
love her.
And then to know that when it opens, it's Joe won't be there. Chances are, a lot of those people I just named,
few people
won't be there ever again. Some won't ever be there again.
Doesn't that bum you out, man?
It does. But
I was going down Laurel Canyon the other day, and I was like, "Fuck!" Because I'd take the 101 to Laurel Canyon, get to Comedy Store. I love to drive. I had the windows down. I was driving there the other day because I was taking my son to the Grove. I was just like, "Fuck, man!" Last time I drove this to the Comedy Store, I was so excited just to get there and see everybody.
It sucks. Well, what really sucks also is that it's not going to happen. New York's not coming back. New York and LA aren't coming back for a long time. And when they do come back, people, it will be, you can't take years off the game. Joe is not doing the wrong thing. That's the thing that sucks.
What do you mean?
He's not doing the wrong thing. He's like, I do one thing. I do stand-up. I do a podcast. I do two things. I do stand-up. I do a podcast. I do two things. I do fucking MMA or whatever the fuck. But I do one thing and I do it well in a stand-up. And I can't do it here. And I can't be a part of a place where I can't do the thing I want to do. So I'm moving to Texas and I'm going to fucking open a comedy club or I'll jump in on this comedy club and start getting spots, and I need to do stand-up. And that is not the wrong way to look at our job. If we were winemakers and our crops shit the bed for a year,
but the crops were in Texas, we'd go to Texas.
And they were like, yo, you're a sommelier, you can, I don't know what you'd call a winemaker, but you need to find work, if the crabs pots don't fill up in Alaska, they're moving to the fucking Bering Straits and going to Russia. It's
but Joe's not chasing stand-up.
I think he is.
You think?
I 100% think he is. Joe Rogan's an amazing podcaster, but I think what drives that dude's brain
is
stand-up comedy.
100%.
100%. You can say mixed martial arts, you can say podcasting, but I will tell you, he is a stand-up number one, and I think Joe Rogan's perspective is they will not open these clubs for fucking ever. And I can move to Austin. And by the way, he's in a financial position where he can go, I'll keep my house here, move to Austin, start working, get a jump on stand-up. And when everything opens up, I'm back in the game ready to go. Trust me to say, you know the feeling. When they started opening up clubs, when we jumped into clubs, me, you, Rogan, Callan, Chris Porter, a bunch of dudes jumped out into clubs.
Not a ton, though.
You got much more than you think.
100%.
Like a lot of people went DL on it because of what happened with you and Callan. They were like, I'm going to do this, but I don't want to get canceled. Yeah. And you're like, it's what we do for a fucking living.
They can't cancel you.
If the clubs are responsible and they seat people in a responsible way and you behave responsible, you can be safe.
I'm at Wise Guys in August. I think August 10th or something.
And so, the date is. But trust me when I say, I am in a position right now because I did a 3-week run of some clubs and drive-in movie theaters where I'm really comfortable back on stage. And that's why I'm doing more of these drive-ins, because I go, this is what I do for a living. I can't. And also I plan on doing this for the rest of my life. And when theaters open back up, I want to go back into theaters, but I don't want to have to take 6 months to get comfortable on stage again.
No.
And neither does Joe. When Joe has an arena tour sold out already, he's already sold out an arena tour.
Oh, he has Madison Square Garden, I think, in October.
I think he's doing 2 shows there. And so for Rogan, he's going, hey man, what I do is stand up. I can also do my podcast here, but what I do is stand up, and I'm going to go to fucking Texas and I'm going to do stand up. I'm going to do it safe. And someone like Joe, and this is the thing where I think you and Brian got screwed that people don't talk about, but I know for a fact I was put in situations, and I won't say clubs, but where it wasn't seated properly and it wasn't set up properly.
That's not on me.
It is now. What do
you mean?
I watched it because I was in a weird position in that I was straddling the fence. I was going in a certain way, behaving in a certain way so that no one came in contact with me. I went in the back door, got into the green room, got on stage, got back to the green room, into the bus, and then we drove to the next city. There was no hanging out.
Yep.
But after doing a couple of the clubs, I won't say names, but a couple of clubs that you guys did, I got really nervous and I became a little bit of a cunt, and I started telling people, I want you to pull tables. I don't trust that you're going to sit half the room. I don't.
But that's I'm not in the business of seating people and figuring out the room.
But
I tell the jokes that whatever you do is on you, and if you seat more people, pay me my money. But that is.
See, I was the opposite. I actually went in.
I don't deal with that business.
I did because I was very lucky that I got to learn from you two And it sucks that you guys took the fucking bullet for every comic that plans on doing clubs for the next whatever part. But I went in and I said, all right, I want a bigger walkway to get to the venue, to get to the stage. I want the first row taken out. I want that first set of tables, take those out. I went into Des Moines. I'll tell you right now, Alicia's doing this great. I went into Des Moines and I said, pull out enough tables that you can just seat socially, like, and so you just go into a club and you just have to be a dick. And I would tell my tour manager, go in and I want you to clean up the club for them and say, this is how we would like it. Doing it. I don't care about the money. I didn't care about the money. I wanted to do stand-up. I just want to get on
stage. Yeah. I don't give a fuck.
And so that's where I would say, and I told this to Nikki Glazer, I said, if you want to go into a club, you set the parameters. You can be an asshole right now.
Well, you know Keith at Wise Guys.
Keith was fucking awesome.
Have you? When's last time?
I went to Wise Guys. Keith,
I'm there. I bring it up, Jim, for TV. I forget. I'm there soon. It's sold out, but Keith, when I got COVID, goes, "Hey, obviously you're gonna be fine. We're rescheduling. I'm there the 13th through the 15th.
Pull up my tour dates too.
Yeah, he goes. We're gonna reschedule. We reschedule the 13th and 15th. He goes, I want you to know it's on us. Let us make sure the safety's there. That's you come.
Yeah.
Make sure you be funny. You let us deal with all the safety measures. That's on us.
And I'll tell you right now, Keith does it right. What they've done.
He's the best owner.
They've got a great way. You walk in through the back door, so you have zero contact walking in.
I never have contact though. I don't. Do you go through? Like I always go non-contact.
What do you mean?
Like I always go through the back door. I never.
Oh, I've always done like in the past, I'll walk through the front door at a club.
Never.
Like I've never been back door in the clubs.
I'm worried about getting sick no matter what, even COVID or not.
I'm a honeypot for disease. Yeah. And so that'll be clipped out if I ever get COVID. I'm a honeypot for disease. But Keith, everyone wore masks. Keith walked in, he had a mask on. It was very brief in there, said hello.
Wore a mask or no?
No. Some people do. Well,
that's their discretion.
It's up to everyone. I think they took everyone's temperature. And they had it taped off where you couldn't sit, which was great. So he can't really remove tables, but what they did is they taped it off and blocked it off where you go, this was safe. And I went to some clubs that weren't safe. And
certain places where we've both been where you're like,
It's like
popping.
Oh, it's like raw dogging some chick in Tijuana in an alley. And she says, hey, just so you know, I might be in my period. And you're like, I think I got something.
It gets dicey.
There was one club I went to where I got real shitty. And I was like, I want you to go through and take everyone's temperatures again. Like, I'm not comfortable. Like, I was so uncomfortable. There was one club where I was like, I'm in the green room going, we're all getting it. We're all fucking getting it.
This is my thing, Bert, and people can shit on me for it. It's like, when I look at the stats, I'm like, if I get it, man, I'm going to be fine. And I was right on that. But unfortunately for Brian, he wasn't that fine.
See, I'm not that way.
I work out I ride fucking 20 to 30 miles every single day. I eat right. I do my shit. I look at the stats. People who are healthy, they're going to be okay, you know?
This is why I was such an asshole. And by the way, I'm never an asshole at all. Anyone that's ever worked with me knows I'm not difficult at a club. The drive-ins are a totally different thing. That's why I'm only doing drive-ins now. But when I went into the clubs, I just witnessed people being irresponsible. And what I saw for me was that, like, and I'm thinking of the people in the room, I was like, God damn it, man, if that's how you're behaving right now, how do you behave when you're not in front of me where I'm being an asshole? Yeah. And so that's why I got more strict as the tour went around, and I just got, because for me, the tour was only a success if no one on our bus got COVID. That was the only way that tour was a success. Because if not, in my opinion, and anyone that was on this tour will know I was a little bit of an asshole. But in my opinion, if not, I just went around the country and spread the fucking virus. I just took 9 people, 70 or 30 people total, and just spread the virus. So I was like, I made everyone...
I hate to tell you, Bert, it's going to spread no matter what.
I know, but I didn't want to be the poster boy of it. And so I was like...
Well, me and Brian will handle that for you.
Thank God you guys jumped on that fucking grenade. And by the way, me and Burr did a podcast the day I got my test results, and I quarantined even after getting test results in my tour bus. I kept my tour bus in my new house for like extra days, so I lived in my tour bus. The day you guys came in contact, and Brian's fucking video, and we could not stop laughing.
Oh, Brian went. Brian, like, hey, tone it down, Bubba.
For all you guys, I fist bumped, and we're like,
Brian went on a
anyone that tour. I might have chest bumped, anyone I forearmed 4 times, or,
dude, I roast them.
If anyone kick stepped with me throughout the week,
I'd send him a text. I went, "You're a giant pussy." He went on an apology tour. I'm like, "What are you doing?"
Burr and I were laughing. He goes, and Bill, the whole time Burr's like, "Of course they got it. Of course they fucking got it." Yeah. And he goes, "Look," and he kept saying this, "I hope they're healthy. I hope they're fine. I think they're gonna be fine." But he goes, "The fucking Brian's not anyone I might have fist bumped." And then Brian goes, "I forgot. I'm taking that fist right to my mouth. I'm taking that fist right to my mouth." I'm like, it's Brian. Brian Callen is funny when he's on stage, right? He's funny when he's doing Brian Callen. But that fucking video made me laugh so hard because there was an intent. That was like,
I hated that video.
Get in front of it, Brian.
I hated that video.
Oh God, I fucking anyone I might have.
Dude, you got a fucking tour schedule.
Oh, let me see that
Bring
again.
those back up, Chin. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Starlight Drive-In,
10th,
Wichita,
Monday.
Kansas City, 2 shows.
Independence, Missouri.
That's Kansas City, Memphis, Louisville, 2 shows. Columbus, 2 shows. Philly, 2 shows. Butler, PA, 2 shows. I think that's Pittsburgh. Philly, that's at Citizens Bank Park.
Wait, so you're gonna take the tour? You're gonna take the tour bus out there?
Everywhere.
You drive the tour bus all the way out there?
So the tour bus picks us up. I just had a conference call about this in the car ride here. We get COVID tests before we go. We all get in the tour bus. We kind of quarantine as safe as everyone can. I mean, I was going to be with their family and whatnot.
Why quarantine if you test negative?
Test negative before we leave, so that we're not taking it. So like we test.
Yeah, so someone doesn't.
A few days out, so we're not taking it and everyone getting sick on the tour bus. So then we tour out. We drive straight across country into like Wichita.
That's a beast.
Do our first. It's fun as shit.
It's
fun as shit because I hired a producer. My friend Stacy that works out at Citizen, who does Guy's Grocery Game or Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. I hired Stacy to say, "Hey, find us cool shit we can do where we can socially distant. Like, get us activities where we don't have to be around anyone." So she's like, "You guys want to go horseback riding? You guys want to rent a boat? You guys want to go tubing down the down?" We did all these really fun shit, and Stacy just would organize it from Colorado. Call ahead. We went car racing. She goes, "I need all the cars wiped down. I need 0 contact walking in. The guys are going to go right to the cars. They're going to race cars, and then they're coming out." And they were like, everyone was cool as fuck.
Bert, let me ask you this: is it like this stuff sounds exhausting? Are you ever like, "Oh, fuck this, dude"?
No, man. I've been in a house with my fucking family for 100 days. I get out there and I was like, I'm like, dude, let's fucking do it. Like, if you're gonna tour, fucking let's tour. Like, let's go every day.
And there's so many people touring that you don't know about. Like, they think I'm the only guy touring. There's so many people touring.
No, do
you have no idea?
I looked at the list. Once you guys got COVID,
sent me the list.
Once you guys got COVID, a lot of people jumped off and was like, "It's not worth it" or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think there's not a lot of guys doing drive-ins. I think it's me and Gaffigan are the only ones doing drive-ins. I think Eliza might try to do them.
I would 100% try and set up a drive-in.
Oh, it's so much fucking fun. And I'll tell you the one you should set up. The first one I did in North Carolina, that's the one everyone should start with.
North Carolina? It's
North Carolina, the very first, hey.
There's none in fucking...
No, this is what you do, okay? Trust me, the financials will work. It's just, you're not going to make a ton of fucking money. That's the problem. Is like Tom looked at it and he was like, fiscally, it doesn't make sense. And I go,
Tom's
it does.
Top 5.
Yeah, but I go, it does. It just doesn't make sense the way you do a theater. So like when you do a theater, you're getting everything's already there. You're just, all you got to do is pay a little rent fees, which we used to shit on. Trust me, when you rent all the stuff yourself and drive it out yourself, you're losing a lot of fucking money. But Tom was like, it just doesn't make a ton of sense when I can just hold off, wait till everything goes back to normal, and then just do a theater I think Tom will be doing arenas in 2021.
Agree.
And go, why not just wait? Like, he doesn't need the money. I don't need the money either, technically.
I get it, like, why guys hold off. And then it's like, I don't know. I'm on the fence. Like, I get why guys are holding off, but then it's like, it's tough.
I'll tell you what. This is the way I looked at it. And I've always looked at my career, because I'm such a fan of comedy. Like, we can talk about Burr or Chappelle. Look what Chappelle's doing, dude. This is what I love about this business. Chappelle is like the GOAT. He has set up a field in Yellow Springs that people are driving into to go see live shows where it's him, Michelle Wolf, Mo Amer, Donnell Rollins, fucking Jon Stewart.
He's doing it how often?
I want to say every night or every weekend.
Oh fuck!
And then he's bringing out like his friends Common,
John Mayer, I'm sure.
John Mayer. They're all coming and hanging. Everyone's getting COVID tests. The second they get out there, everyone's clean. They're going spending big days out on the lake or going whitewater rafting or they're hanging out. And Donnell's doing cookouts and they're doing shows. They're doing shows differently. And I think here's what I say as a fan. Like I saw that when he did. I mean, I'd already set up the tour when he had done his thing that came out on YouTube. But I just looked at it as like, as a fan, I would love an opportunity to get out of the house with my wife, go see something live that I enjoy, and be safe. And for me, on March 17th, when I had this idea, I was like, drive-in movie theaters. Had I known what Chappelle must have had the same idea where he's like, fuck it, let's get a property, let's set up a tour, let's set up a stage.
People will come.
Yeah, people will come. I love that. Find that thing that, like, I think Tammy Pescatelli's got a brewery that she does where it's like 250 people, they all sit safe and they serve beer and like there's alternate ways to do stand up. That like look at Dana White, the way he goes, Fight Island, let's do it that way. It's like there is ways to change it, but there's also, you can be like the guy that goes, I'm gonna just hang out and be safe and not do anything. You totally can do that. But I just was like, man, I know for a fact if there's some people like me that are like me that want to stay safe,
they want to get out.
Yeah, I can figure this out.
To do, yeah.
I can figure this out for them. I mean,
agree, and that's really who you're going for. You know,
yeah.
The people are like, dude, I'm bored as shit. I have nothing to do.
Yeah,
please do something, dude.
People, I will say this, and I can't speak for everyone.
And there's
obviously.
A demand.
Well, there's only two comics doing stand up right now. There's like the numbers are really low.
You and me, dude.
Really
and
low.
I got COVID.
But like, you look at it and you go like, I like. Well, here's the other thing. This is gonna sound bullshitty, and you can call me on bullshit. You can go, Bert, you're a fucking liar right now. When the money broke down originally, I was like, it's not really worth it.
Yep.
But I'll do it and I'll put it on social media and it'll be good pops. So maybe add some followers. I'll deficit it with followers. Like build my YouTube channel. I was like, I want to get to 1 million followers on YouTube by the end of the year. That was my subscribers. Yeah.
Close?
No, probably like 600,000 something. Though. And so I was like, but I need to build my YouTube channel. So I'll shoot content, post content. I do a vlog about that tour. It comes out every week. So that was my original thought. Then we did it and we got the first night, every single person that worked on our show. And like I said, there was a crew of 12 or 15 that were on another tour bus going with us, doing the stage, setting up everything.
It's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people. And that's why I wasn't making a ton of money.
Not at all.
And that's why I was looking at it. And every time they'd be like, hey, we're going to add some cops. I knew that was coming out of my pocket. like it's very different.
Your head goes.
It's very different when it is all your money. Yeah. Like when you know that gross is you're generating that gross. The gross, you can look up the numbers. They've written articles about it. You know that you generate that gross. And you know that everything that's added, when they add more cops or they add more security, that you're paying for all that. There was a part of me on the first night where I started counting heads going like, motherfucker. Like, yeah, and then that first night, I've drawn a blank on his name. He ran everything. He was the greatest. I think Larry, I think is his name. Larry comes up to me and he's got a mask on, gloves on, fucking sleeves and tattoos. Tough fucking dude that has done this shit a lot. This is his job. He's a man too, like kind of guy you don't fucking mince words with. Comes up, legit. I'll say it, hat in hand. And he says, "I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Oh, wow. I haven't worked in 3 months.
Oh fuck,
and cool. And this is keeping me afloat. So thank you." And all of a sudden, I looked at that price point. And I
worth it.
I went, okay, hold on. That's not my money. That's the fans are giving these guys money so that they can keep afloat. And if I can do this more and keep everyone afloat, then I got a responsibility to do this tour as safe as possible. That whole crew is gloves and masks all the time. They grab a mic, wipe it down, give you a brand new mic. There is zero contact on the fucking drive-in movie theaters tours. And then you start looking. I'm doing a TV show. I get on the horn with the executive producers. And initially, when you get a TV show, you're assuming that first call is going to go a certain way. That call started with, hey, we just want to tell you how appreciative we are that you're willing to follow the parameters of shooting within COVID because you're doing this project, is greenlighting the project and allowing a lot of people to work. So then you start going, Yeah, then you start looking at it like I don't need all the money. I don't need all the money. I just want
it's bigger than us.
It's bigger than us.
I got that at Houston because I remember I went to Houston and before
dude, when you go into the clubs, dude, everyone is like, dude.
Oh, dude,
thank you.
You've never seen anything like it. When we did Houston Improv and before we went, Joe Coy gives us $1,000 cash. Goes, give this to the staff for me. I know they're struggling. And I go, well, I'll match it. Brian goes, I'll match it. So we get done. We give the staff even more because then another dude who was there was like, whatever you guys donate to the staff, I'll double. So they walked, $9,000, and for them, dude, I'm telling you, when you see how like the all the employees, they were like, dude, we can't thank you enough.
That's the when you go into those clubs and
I'm like, oh, that's worth it. But for me, I'm not like you guys. I've been doing comedy for fucking 20 years, so just the reps and everything, and it's just been. It's been great.
Going into the clubs.
That makes it worth it. That's the point.
Saying to the clubs, like, and then the look on people, like, I mean, I go to the Des Moines Funny Bone. I've been going to that club for fucking 12 years. 12 years I've been doing that club. And to go in, people that I've known for 12 years, for 12 fucking years. I was there when Paul died. I was there before I was there for doing toasts in his honor, Paul Lane, who owned the club. And to go into a club where you've known these people for 12 years and them literally standing 5 feet away, 6 feet away with a mask on and gloves going, thank you so much. And these are people that are waiting tables, putting themselves at risk because they got to pay.
They need the money.
They have
kids.
And I know that this is a divisive conversation to have about, well, maybe if we just lock down everything the way Asia did
we'd get done faster.
It's a tough conversation. All I can tell you is that I can find a way to do it as safe as possible at these drive-ins, and that's my job.
I love the idea of the drive-ins, but even Keith at Wise Guys, he texted me the other day. He's like, "We need you, brother." And I'm like, dude, when I first started, not a lot of clubs wanted me, right? It was like this fucking fighters and do stand-up, so a lot of clubs like, we're good. Not Keith.
Keith, man, I'm telling you, and look, I'm not going to name names and so that it sounds like the ones I don't name were bad, but I will say that Nikki Glazer called me about Wise Guys because she's like, I'm going there the week after I was there. She was like, I'm really nervous. I go, do not be nervous. I said, listen, I pulled Keith aside. I said, Nikki's really nervous. She lives with her parents. They're my parents' age, and he was like, trust me, we're doing this right. I went through that place. Man, they were awesome. Their clubs are doing it as best they can, and that's all I can. I don't have a horse in the fight. I'm not doing any more clubs right now. I'm just doing drive-ins. But I will tell you, clubs are doing it safe. They really are. Some aren't. And some businesses aren't. And some people aren't. I was just in Arizona with my family. I took my family to the hotspot of coronavirus, but I knew we could be safe. We got into Winnebago. We had zero contact. We spent the time on boats. We went to sandbars where no one was. We went skiing. We cooked out in an RV park. We didn't talk to a fucking soul.
Yeah. But when it's not like, we did Phoenix. I remember looking at Brian, my brother, and I'm pro opening the economy, everything. Yeah. And even I looked at my brother and Brian went, it's getting dicey here, dude. I mean, it was...
Yeah.
There's fucking party.
Oh, dude, we drove.
It was one of the best shows we've ever had, and I just went.
I saw it on Instagram.
It's a party, man.
Yeah,
it's trouble.
We went to a couple hotels and we saw people in pools, and we freaked out. We were like, "What the fuck?" It was like being in the second act of Jaws, where they're like, "What are they still doing in the ocean?"
But I'll say that there's certain even certain states you go to where everyone's like, "Oh, they're open." Even Texas, "Oh, they're open. It's all good." It's not all good. You go there and it's still, it's weird, man, where I don't want to be on tour.
And then you go to a place like Alabama, you go to the Stardome, and it's fucking everyone wore masks the whole time. And you're like, I literally was like, Alabama?
I know.
Like, my wife's from here. Like, I got kin in Alabama.
Yeah.
This isn't how you're supposed to behave. But they were being responsible. You cannot, it's really difficult to tell an American what to do. And more importantly,
it's impossible.
Like, I know for a fact I don't like wearing masks. I don't. I do it because I like making people happier more than I like making myself happy. So I'll wear a fucking mask, but I fucking hate it.
My thing is with them, if they said, hey, the Comedy Store will open in end of August, if you just wear a mask, I'll wear a fucking mask. Dude.
Well,
I got COVID. I'm saying, if you wear a mask, we can all get over this faster. Just wear a fucking mask.
I wear a mask every single day.
Yes.
By the way, I wear a mask every single day.
But I was anti-mask till I got it, and then I'm like,
oh wait, you didn't wear masks through the?
Not like I would wear because to get my coffee or whatever. No, when I was on tour, I didn't really wear a mask. I was like, if I get it, I get it.
I'll
take my chances of 99% chance of surviving.
Jesus was wearing a mask pretty much in the bus at all times. Like, we had people in the bus wearing masks a lot. Like, my cousin Andrew had a mask on. I was like, none of us in the bus were wearing masks.
But if you guys all test negative, why are you wearing the fucking mask?
Yeah, well, I think everyone's fear of it is different, and it's like with grief. You can't judge. At this point, you can't quantify your fear and then put that on someone else and go. Like, I had a guy. We were at a dude ranch in Arizona. Had the whole place to ourselves, and one guy's a handyman there, and he recognized me. And he saw me in a mask and found out it was me. And he's like, "Oh, you're a fucking mask guy?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm a fucking, like, I can't believe you're not." Like, I understand we're at a dude ranch in the middle of the desert, like 20 miles away from the...
Yeah, I get it.
But like...
it's not that I'm a mask guy. I'm going to open the economy as fast as we can. If you say, hang out with your dick out, I will pull my dick out. If it opens the comedy store and things get back to normal, I'll do whatever the fuck you want to do.
I'm on that to a T.
100%.
To a T.
That's what it takes. Whatever you guys want, dude.
I said to Liam before I came here, I said, listen, I'm doing, because I didn't greenlight it with her that I was coming to do this. I got the text. We were in the Winnebago, and I just write back, of course, yeah, done. And then I tell my wife, I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm getting out of quarantine, because we're pretty much quarantined our house. And I go, I'm getting out of quarantine. I'm going to do a podcast with Brendan. She goes, he's already had it. Everyone there, didn't their whole crew get it? And I was like, yeah. She's like, honey, I go to the grocery store. Like, I'm not going to quarantine for 15 days.
You're me safer
after the grocery store. She's like, she goes, you will be much safer with a bunch of people that have already had it.
Thank God.
Then she goes, please go do the podcast. Get out of the fucking house.
You know what's weird is since Brian and I got it, it's been tougher to book guests for Fire and Kid.
Really?
Isn't that strange?
That is strange. Shane had it. Shane was on our bus, and he had it.
Shane
Torres.
Oh yeah.
And so he had it, but he was still fucking super wearing masks everywhere. He was like, I just want people to feel comfortable.
Oh, weird. Yeah.
Yeah, he wore masks.
I might still wear a mask, but I want to take you down. But like, I've already had it.
You know what?
I swear,
guys, you're safe.
Yeah, don't worry.
Let me infect you. No, it's.
I've had buddies call me when I got it. Like, dude, can I come over just so I can get it over with?
They have coronavirus parties where people are like spitting in drinks, so they all get it.
Yeah.
And then some girl died from one.
That's a problem.
That's the problem.
You hear the horror stories. Like one guy lost his hands. Have you seen that guy?
No, I haven't. And I won't. By the way, I'm not going to laugh at that.
Like,
I won't laugh at that, and I don't find that funny.
Well,
because I'm the guy that'll lose their fucking hands and can't do stand-up just standing behind a mic stand.
No, I saw this guy. He goes, I got crying. I lost my hands. Like, oh, fuck, dude. You hear these horror stories.
You hear the horror stories, and then
they don't leak the good stories.
Well, I'll tell you what happened, in my opinion, is we all stayed at our houses for so long that we were like, and we all were safe, and then... Labor Day weekend, everyone started rioting, and we were like watching the riots going like, well, if the media is not covering this, if the media is not mentioning the virus right now, then I guess the virus wasn't real. Yeah.
They took all the tickers off CNN and Fox News of people getting corona. They took those off, so I went,
I literally...
CNN, which is...
Can you plug in your mic thing? I think it came out. Is that sticking out? Right there, in front of you. Let me do it for you.
Here? Oh, here.
No, that switch. There you go.
Sorry.
I was watching, my daughter said, Dad, I want to go down to the protest. I said riots, I apologize. Well, the riots, I was watching them too, but she goes, I want to go to the protest. And I said, there's a pandemic. And she said, Dad, everyone's fine. Look, Dad. And she showed me, and I'm watching
there's a million
this
people.
Black dude hug cops to let him know he loves them. And everyone is on the news going, this is a beautiful moment. And I'm sitting on my couch going, he is infecting every single one. He is putting every single one of their lives at risk. And in my head, I said, I wonder if he's doing that on purpose. I wonder if he's like, fuck you, cops. Like, because in my head,
I think Corona took a back seat.
And then the news didn't cover it. And so my daughter, her friends, they all were like, the coronavirus isn't real. Look at these protests. We should go to these protests. And some of her friends snuck out and went to the protest, totally putting their parents at risk and everything. And that is on the fucking media. They should have said, they should have been more responsible with that, because all of them. And then Labor Day shows up and everyone's like, well, dude, if they're fucking protesting, let's just go let's go to the beach. It's not a big deal. It's, guys, look, no one's saying this is wrong. And then I think what happened is a lot of us have been in house for like 3 months going like, well, fuck, dude.
Give me Corona.
Like, well, but yeah, if they're saying it's not,
fuck it.
Apparently it's not that bad because they're not commenting on any of these people.
But I don't, my thing is, the media is the enemy of the state. Why, and I know that's a hot take, I don't know why anyone watches that shit and takes it serious. There's always, name any station, there's an agenda, whether it's Fox News, CNN, whether it's ABC, NBC, there's always an agenda. So they're gonna put out what they want to put out, the message they want to put out.
Yeah, and so
it's like, what do you listen to? You
I literally.
So I go by stats. By stats.
I know. I just go by be as safe as fucking human possibly. Like just be as safe as possible. That's my thing, and luckily I have a little bit of OCD, so it dials into that where it makes me even more comfortable to just hole up and be on my treadmill twice a day.
I know we're headed in the right direction because sports are back. Once sports makes America work,
but wait,
so sports are coming back.
But once that, like, I mean, just
someone gets it. The Marlins got it. 10 players got it. 10 players. 10, I think 13 total, including coaches. They canceled the games the next day. But the MLB commissioner came out, and thank God he did this. He went, listen, it's not a nightmare for us. We have the protocols where if guys get it, we're going to figure it out, but it's not going to shut down the season. My thing is, it's like a lot of people, especially online, they're rooting for things to get shut down. They're rooting for Corona to overtake and for us to be shut down. Where you look at the commissioner of MLB who's getting shit, he goes, it's really not a nightmare for us. They're just not going to play the next night. Those 10 players can stay quarantined, and we're back to business.
Yeah, it's
because the thing is, they tested everybody, and 99.6% are fine. 0.4% failed the test. So you're gonna shut down the league for 99% of the people that are okay?
Yeah,
that's insane.
I wish there would you just see this. They took that video down off YouTube yesterday.
Trump's?
Yeah, and by the way, I saw
That's his opinion, though. But how can you take down the hydrochloroquine?
I don't even know. Just, like, things are changing so quick where you see something, you're like, oh, that makes sense. And then everyone's like, fake news. You're like, oh, that makes sense. And then they put it back up. Oh, that makes sense. Then I just go, I've been so happy since my dog died because I haven't looked at fucking social media once.
Brother, I don't see any of it. You know, some guy at Starbucks came up to me and goes, dude, how about the fight news? I'm like, oh, unless Chandler or somebody texts me some fight news or I do below the belt, I don't see the breaking news.
Oh,
they announced Khabib versus Justin Gaethje in October, and the guy goes, "How about that fucking big UFC news?" I go, "What is?" He goes, "You don't know." I'm like, I don't see social media, dude.
No,
I don't see any of it.
I tap out.
Once Corona hit, I tapped out. I went, it's too negative. I don't want to be part of it.
Oh,
I don't want to be part of it.
Yeah, I got to do a podcast at 3.
Oh, you do? Oh, my God.
Yeah. No, I just realized that. I'm having such a fucking great time talking to you, dude.
Oh, dude, I love you.
Yeah, dude,
thank God you came in.
Hey, anytime. I love.
It's rare I hit up you and Tom because I know you guys are busy, man.
Dude, I'm packed for this next week, 2 weeks before I go out on the road. But anytime you need it, I'm here for you, brother. I love you too, brother.
The best.
I'm glad you're healthy.
Yeah, I'm great, man.
You look good, by the way.
Yeah, man. Stressing Corona. Bert Kreischer, ladies and gentlemen.